Okay, my name is Jossy Mutisya. I'm from Kenya, and I'm the Swahili Fulbright FLTA. And today we're going to be looking at the Bridewealth system in Kenya, and maybe I'll touch across Africa because Bridewealth is a thing across African countries. So we're going to be looking at Bridewealth, and you feel free to ask questions. If you have any, like you can interrupt me anytime and ask a question. Is that okay? Okay, so I'll share my screen now. Okay, so Bridewealth and marriage is what we're going to be talking about today. And then, okay, so there we are. Bridewealth is payment made by groom or his kin to the kin of the bride in order to ratify a marriage. Payment of mahari, no, mahari is the Swahili word for bridewealth. Payment of mahari is a sign of the man's commitment to take care of his wife, and is seen as a symbolic act and a necessary part of upholding culture rather than a purchase. So this is important for us. You're not buying a wife. You're like, it's more of like, thank you. You're saying thank you to the parents who have raised this woman, who have taken care of her and have taught her morals, have taken her to school. So it's like saying thank you to the family. It's not like you're buying. You can never afford to buy a person. So it's just like a token of appreciation from the groom's family, because it is seen like the family of the groom is getting something, like they're getting someone into the family, and the other side, where the bride is from, they're losing a person. Because for us, when you get married, of course, your family is still your family, but your husband's family is like your number one family. If anything happened to you, for example, you'd be going to your mother-in-law and talking to your mother-in-law before you even talk to your mother. That is how it should be, because now your mother-in-law is like your own mother. She's the first person, or you should consider her before you consider even your mother of the family. So you become a member of the family, and mostly they'll call you our wife. And when you get married, for us, you're not just married to your husband, you're married to the whole family. You become a member of the family. So mostly it's common to hear people calling you our wife, like the brothers of the groom, the sister, the uncles, everyone calling you our wife because you're ours. You have come to our family and you've become one of us, so you're ours. And in the case of a divorce, the bride price has to be returned to the groom's family. Now, if I was married, for example, and for any reason that I decide to divorce my husband, then the divorce will only be considered finalized. You can only finalize the divorce after the bride price that was paid for you is returned to the groom's family. You have to return the bride price. Although divorce was very rare that time, in traditional African society, it was very rare to have people divorcing. Marriage was like a lifetime thing. It was for better for us. You had to stay in your marriage even if things got out. But mostly people were happy. There were not many issues like we have today. And then we have in Kenya. So Kenya is a multicultural society. We have around 44 ethnic communities, and all these communities practice dowry payment or bride price payment. Difference comes only with the items that are given. Like, for example, you have communities. We look at several communities in Kenya, and we'll see that it will differ. So bride price is mostly given in terms of, for example, you'll be giving cows or goats or sheep. You'll be giving that. So it will differ within communities. Some communities will ask for example, 4 cows. Other communities will be asking for 15. Others will be having 20. So that is the only difference. But all the communities, they will practice the dowry payment. A marriage, even if you went to wed in church, even if you went to in church and you have the marriage certificate and everything, before you have paid dowry, that marriage is not considered complete. You need to pay that dowry for the marriage to be considered complete, because the bride price is a binding thing. Now, if you decided to have a traditional wedding, because when you're paying the bride price, you usually have a ceremony for the payment of bride price. So that ceremony itself and the bride, that is considered marriage. Like, even if you did not go to church to officiate, that itself is considered marriage. And even churches in Kenya and churches in Africa, before the pastor or before the priest weds you to, he needs to confirm that the groom has complied to the requirements of the bride's family before he can wed you. He needs to confirm that. He needs to confirm that everything is okay between the groom and the family, and the bride and the family. Some communities give cows. The number of cows also differs across community, and so does goats and sheep, etc. Today, things are changing, so people will accept money. Before, no, it had to be just cows or goats and just animals. But right now, so what happens is it is converted. For example, if they want 5 cows, if the bride price is usually 5 cows, so that will be converted to money. So if a cow, for example, is how much? $100, for example. If a cow is can a cow cost $100? How much is a cow?
I have no idea.
Marcus, would you know the price of a cow?
Definitely more than $100. But I don't know exactly. Expensive though.
Yeah. So so for example, it's, let's say, 50,000. 50,000 is how much? $500, for example, or 600. Let's go with 600. $600, and they're asking for 5 cows. So you multiply 600 times 5 or times 6. That should be around 36,000. Yeah, that should be. So you'll be paying the equivalence of the cows.
And is it only one type of animal typically, or is there like a mixture as well?
A mixture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a mixture. So you'll have families asking, for example, you pay, like in my own community, they will be asking the least. So again, it also depends with how well off the groom is. So if you're well off, your bride price might be slightly higher. And also if the bride, if the bride is very, very educated, she's gone to school, she also fetches more bride price, because it is assumed that you're getting like an asset. She will help you to generate money. She'll help you to make money. So you're getting an asset into your home. So they fetch a little more bride price than those who are not so much educated.
And does it have to be like just cows, or can it be cows with some sheep and some goats together, and that's like the whole?
So it will be like now, for my own, for example, they will be asking for cows plus goats plus so the cows will be asking for a cow and a bull.
Okay.
Cow, bull, and then goats, and then sheep.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the number differs. Like from my own community, they'll be asking for more goats than they'll be asking for cows. So you'll have they ask a minimum of two cows and a bull, and then the goats will depend. So the minimum number of goats they'll be asking for is 4. So it will be around 4, and then 4. So it has to be an even number: 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, etc.
And do the animals need to be delivered for before the wedding, like the religious ceremony can happen, or as long as they have arranged it?
It has to happen before. So so what used to happen is young people. So if the agreement is you'll be paying 5 cows and 5 goats and 3 sheep. So what happens is young people, especially men, they will be charged with the responsibility of transporting the. So that time we did not have cars and everything like that. So they used to walk the animals to the bride's place. So they will walk the animals overnight. They'll walk the animals overnight to the bride's family, so that the following day the ceremony can happen. Yeah, and it's actually, it happens even up to now, because and then bride price is paid in, you can pay it in installments. Like you're supposed to pay all of it at once, but you can negotiate and tell them, I have this at the moment, can I pay this and then pay the remaining amount, or the remaining everything after. So when they agree, you pay that. So what happened with my parents? My dad paid half, I think, when he got my mom. He paid half the dowry, and then the other half was paid when I was a bit like I was in high school. So I saw this. I live in the city. I was born and raised in the city, so I've not seen this much, but I got to see it at that point, and it was like affecting me directly because it was my parents. So my the animals were, the cows and the goats and everything, were moved from my father's compound to my mother's compound overnight, and it's a very long distance. It's like a very long walk, like you walk for hours to get to my mom's place. And then we had the ceremony the following day. So there's a lot of, so among the animals that mostly it will be the goat. A goat will be slaughtered, and then it will be shared among the family of the bride and the groom. And then the ceremony will include a lot of dancing and a lot of eating and just talking and catching up. And so after that, the marriage, after you complete your dowry, the marriage is considered the complete, and you are considered husband and wife. And in the case that you take a woman and you live with her for years, for example, you get a woman and live with her for years, maybe even 20 or 30 years, and you have not paid bride price for her. In the case that she dies, if she dies she dies, and you have not paid bride price, you will not be allowed to bury her. 1, 2, the children don't belong to you. Bride price means this one is yours, and the children she will give you are yours. So in the case that you do not pay bride price, the children belong to the bride's family, to the other side. The only thing that makes the children yours is the bridewealth. So if you want to keep the children, your partner is dead, and you want to keep the children, you might have to pay bride price even when she's dead. Something like that. So for this language table, we're looking at 5 different communities. We have the Maasai. The Maasai is a very famous community. The Maasai people are found in Kenya and Tanzania. And then we'll have the Kamba, the Kikuyu, the Luo, and the Swahili. So I have these common things. We have these common things that cut across all cultures. So we have Africa. Africa is a whole continent, a very big continent. And then in Africa we have countries. We have countries in North Africa. We have North African countries. I don't think they practice Bridewealth because most of them are Arabs. But West African countries, East African countries, Central Africa, and South Africa, they all practice. These countries all practice payment of bride price. And then now we have Kenya. Now narrowing down Africa, countries in Africa, then we have a country in Africa called Kenya. And in Kenya, we have these communities I've talked about, around 44, they're very many, and all these communities speak different languages. So we have these communities, and so marriage or wedding is sponsored by relatives, even the bride price. So the parents of the groom and the family members, the uncles, the aunties, they will be helping you to pay this Bridewealth. It's not you alone. Even for wedding, even a church wedding, if I wanted to have a wedding today, I would just go to my family members and tell them, and my friends, and tell them I have a wedding, and they will contribute to the wedding expenses and everything. It's not a personal thing. You don't do it alone. This is a family thing. So they will be helping you to get the Bridewealth, the bride price, and you pay it to the bride's family. And yeah, so you don't do it alone. You're never alone. They don't let you source for everything alone. You get help. And then my wife is our wife, as I mentioned. My wife is our wife. You belong to us. You're ours. So if you had a problem, you have like a lot of people to talk to, and people are usually very generally concerned. If you had a problem, people, the sides don't matter. That you're not like you're just here because of our marriage ties. You do not belong to us biologically. That never happens. If you had a problem and you went to your mother-in-law, she will be able to help you like she would help her own daughter. And then so bride price is also money, presents, or both. So for all these communities nowadays, they will take money and presents, or both money and presents. Mostly it's both money and presents. And then, as I said, it can be paid in installments. The bride price can be paid in installments. And then bride price is biblical. It's biblical. We can trust stories from the Bible that people paid bride price to get their wives. Though Africans have been practicing way before even Christianity was brought to us. So this has been a thing for us even way before Christianity. I have this video here. Maybe we can have a look.
Make a different future. Start different at GoDaddy.com.
Are we supposed to be seeing a YouTube screen right now?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you mean for us to be seeing a YouTube screen right now, but all I can see are your slides.
You're not seeing my screen?
No.
Sharing is post. Okay. Sorry. Now? No. Okay.
Mark and Foy can't get married until the families strike a deal on the bride price. Before talks can begin, Mark's team needs to know the ins and outs of this tricky negotiation.
I still can't see anything.
What is expected of them. That's why
I think maybe you need to stop sharing and maybe share again. That could work.
Okay.
there are some demands that will be made. It's that time that they will say that they are interested in our daughter.
Okay. Let's see. share screen. Yeah, okay.
Mark and Foy can't get married until the families strike a deal on the bride price. Before talks can begin, Mark's team needs to know the ins and outs of this tricky negotiation.
We have to brief them on what is expected of them. That's why we were now trying to iron out things before we get to the actual occasion. There are some demands that will be made. It's that time that they will say that they are interested in a daughter of this home, and the boy who is identifying her is interested in her, and she is interested in him, and they are willing to form a family together.
You brought up some visitors, and you have identified somebody. Now, the question is, would you like us to continue with some discussions with them?
I will stand up. I haven't done this before.
Yeah.
So yes, please continue your discussions.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Can you identify the man for us?
The man is Mark Bennett.
Yeah.
This is him.
This is your visitor.
The dowry is not discussed in public. The representatives of your group, the representatives of the other group go in a secluded area. They discuss all these issues, and when they come and they agree, then they will join the others.
So basically, in lieu of the physical exchange of goats, we have some envelopes which will be used in the negotiation. So we've got various denominations, and depending on the other side's request, we should be able to match it.
It's not about the quantity or how expensive it is or how cheap it is, but just that negotiation is the talks they're having. That's it. That's what cements the two families together.
Now, it's a waiting game. After nearly 2 hours,
It's rock and roll, huh? Still rock and roll.
an announcement.
We are now here as Mark's family. We agree to become one family with them.
So much more fun than I imagined. Oh, it's a great custom. Us Australians, we don't have such customs. We're very, very boring. So you're lucky to get
Yeah, so the most important thing is the negotiation. The bride price negotiation is done in private, and not everyone, not even the bride, not even the groom, is supposed to be in the negotiation. So you will choose a representative. The groom will choose a representative, or representatives, and then the bride will also choose representatives. Mostly it's the uncles who do the negotiation. So they will go and negotiate, and like you, it's like you talk. So the groom's family will be telling you, for example, we want 10 cows and 15 goats and 3 sheep, for example. And then you say, we don't have that kind, we don't have the kind of money, we cannot afford to get 10 cows, but we can afford to get 7, and we can afford to get like 12 cows or 12 goats or 10 goats. And yeah, so it's a negotiation. We have this, you have this, we have this, until they come to a mutual agreement. So, and then when the agreement is reached, then the groom will be paying the bride price as agreed, and then now the wife or the woman is considered to be theirs, like legally. She becomes your wife. You take her home. Yeah. So share this again. So we have now, this is a community in Kenya called the Luo. The Luo is a community in Kenya, and they call it Ayia. Ayia means I agree. So this is the mother after the groom comes. So this is a bit different because it's the mother receiving the bride price. It's not the same with many communities. The bride price is usually received by the man, the community, but this one is a bit different because it's the mother who receives the bride price. So Agigia is Swahili word for is Luo word for I agree. So when the bride price is brought in and the mother accepts it and she takes it, then that is considered the marriage is considered legal now. It's the first of two stages. So you have two stages of a traditional marriage ceremony, and it involves paying the bride price to the mother of the bride. So you pay the bride price to the mother of the bride. So the bride the bride price is usually supposed to be it's supposed to be a community thing. So when you get the bride price, for example, the gifts and everything that the groom will be bringing to the family is shared among the members of the family, the bride's family. So you have the mother getting something. Mostly it's the dressing, clothes, and traditional clothing, and the fathers and the uncles, mostly they bring beer or alcohol, and children also get things, and so it's not just for the family, it's not just for the mother or the father, it's for the family, even the extended family. And then for the Luo, they allow or they practice polygamy. So you'll have a man doing this ritual, traditional marriage ceremony, a few times, others 2, others 3, others 4, because polygamy is allowed. And then we have the Swahili people. It's also very, very different. We're watching a film, a Swahili film in class. It's called what, Marcus? I'm forgetting.
Syria Mtungi.
Mtungi. Thank you, Syria Mtungi. So you see in the Swahili bride price, it's different because in all the other communities, the bride price goes to the family, the family, that is the mother, the father, and the other members of the family, but not the bride. You as a bride, your duty is to, after the bride price is paid, you go to your husband. Whatever has been brought to the family is not yours anymore, because you leave and you go and leave people behind. So, but it's different for the Swahili because bride price is given to the lady, the lady being married, and you have a choice of deciding what you want. So the groom and the family will ask you, what do you want? Some people will say, I want a house. Others will say, I want to go on a trip to Dubai. Others will say, it's your choice. You say whatever you want. And then they will be giving you. Of course, they'll give something small to the parents as to say thank you, but mostly it's the bride who will be getting a lot. Yeah, because it's like a gift to the bride. It's a gift to the bride for being good and taking care of herself and everything like that. So she's now moving from singlehood to become a family person. So it's like a gift to her. It's like a present to her. So this is different because I don't think there's any other society that gives the bride price to the woman. I think it's just the Swahili. Then we have the Kikuyu.
I was just wondering, what do the Swahili women typically do with the money? Do they invest it in their children once they have children, or their parents, or what do they do?
Yeah, so when they get the money, the Swahili women, so that depends. People are different. There are people who will decide to spend it. There are people who will save it for their children. That happens. There are people who will decide even to just give it back to the parents. Like, I've been given the bride price, and then I'll decide, okay, mom, you can have this, dad, you can have this. So spending after you get the money as the bride, it's your choice. How you spend it is your choice. Yeah, so most of the people will be spending the money wisely. They will be saving the money for the children, or they'll be doing something constructive with it. Some people will ask for material things, like something like a house. So when you get the house, so this, I think, is this is because when you ask for a house, you will get a house, but you will live with your husband in the house. So it's like a gift for the both of you, because you get to live together. And yeah, so, but it's your house, it will be in your name. So if anything happens, it's your house. And then for the Swahili also, it's very nice because Swahili women are always made aware that you can always ask for a divorce. So for the Swahili women, you're not told it's for better, for worse, you have to be there. No, Swahili women, they know that when this thing is not working anymore, the culture allows for them to ask for a divorce and get married again, without any stigma or any people looking at you some kind of way. It's allowed, and they get married again and again. You can marry even up to 4 or 5 times. As long as you're not happy, you're allowed to move out. And yeah. And then when you move, you have to leave the kids behind. Kids, for us, they belong to the father. The kids belong to the father. So it's changing now. It's a bit different now because you can, like, people want custody of the children and everything like that. But before, it was going, especially for a man who has paid bride price. As I said before, a man who has paid bride price has like the ultimate right to the children. He has the right to the children. And if the marriage ended, he would be keeping the children because he paid bride price. And when you keep the children, as I said, the marriage is supposed to be, if you decide to divorce and to divorce your husband, the bride price should be returned for the divorce to be considered legal. But if you have children with him, the bride price will not be returned, because if you want to keep the children, that is. If you do not want to keep the children, then the bride price will be returned and the children will be taken away from you. So children are a big factor when it comes to bride price.
Sorry, can you just repeat the very last part about the children and the bride price? I got confused.
Yes. Okay, so I was saying the children, for example, I said before that when you pay bride price, when you pay bride price, and then for some reason you decide to divorce. The bride price will not be returned. If you paid 10 cows, 20 cows, 15 goats, if you paid that kind of bride price, it will not be returned to you if you want to keep the children. The bride price, yeah. So if you want to keep the children, bride price is not returned, even after divorce. So the woman can leave and let you stay with the children, and the divorce will cover it up, so that you can say these children are mine because I paid bride price for their mother. But if you don't want to keep, if you insist you want your bride price back, then the children will have to be taken away from you. The only way you get to keep the children is if you paid the bride price. That's the same thing I was saying, that if your wife died or for any reason you want to keep the children and you have not paid bride price, that is not possible, because children are only yours. They're considered yours, like yours completely, after you pay bride price for their mother.
So whoever has what represents the bride price is the one that has legal rights over the children, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
got it. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. And then we have Kamba. Kamba people call it, I'm traditionally Kamba. They call it Ndeo, as the name given to the bride price. and consists of at least one bull, 2 cows, and goats. So the goats, as I told you, that will be depending on but it has to be an even number. So it will be starting at 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 8, 10, 12, 14, etc. Should be paid in full also, but can be negotiated. If you do not have the full amount, then or the full number of animals, then you can negotiate and tell them, I don't have this, but I have this. So this is, you need to make sure that whoever is representing you in the dowry negotiations is someone who is like when in business you want to have a business deal, you want your best, you want the best person, the best spokesperson to have that to complete the deal. So it's like a deal, something like a deal. So you want the best person to represent you, someone who can talk, someone who can negotiate very well, so that you get the best deal, something like that. Yeah. So you must make sure the one who's negotiating, because you're not there as the groom, you're not there in the negotiation. You have representatives. So you must make sure this representative has your interest at heart, and that he can say, no, my son, because mostly it's uncles, my son does not have this kind of money, but can you please lower it to this? So it's a negotiation. And then you have the Maasai community. So for the Maasai, it's different because you marry. It's arranged marriages. Again, everything is changing right now. Not everything is exactly the same as it was, but for the Maasai, it's mostly arranged marriages. So you'll be getting married. You see your bride, you see your groom on the day of the ceremony. Before that, you do not know them. You have not met them. You meet them that particular morning of the ceremony, and you take them home. So the bride, choosing the bride or the groom is done by the parents or the grandparents. And mostly it has worked because your parents want the best for you. They'll not be choosing anyone. They'll choose someone who they know is good for you. So they get you a wife, or they get your husband. They negotiate the bride price, the number. So for the Maasai, mostly it's just cows. They'll be asking for just cows, but you pay many cows, 10, 15. You get the cows, and then you pick after the ceremony. You have brought the cows and the ceremony is concluded. Then you pick the bride and you go home. As simple as that. Pay bride price, pick your bride, go home. And then this is there's a video here on the Maasai marriage, how it works, and the Maasais are also very polygamous, and the polygamy in the Maasai marriage, how it works, how wives live in a boma. Boma is household. Boma, yeah. How Maasais live, how wives live. So mostly they live on one boma. So this is a video, maybe share, and then share again.
Boma is like a rural homestead.
Yes, exactly what I said. Thank you. It's a homestead, rural homestead. So this is a Maasai.
Lúc này về đại đoàn nang lu cho atom mi tori kunyang kai niai ni to niai di kwang kai na yo pikira kumo kitiangang na bu na ranje kana ina ba rajogi pakanyo dai ba ye tini yo no kai di yo ba ya lete kai
Technically, a Maasai man can have as many wives as he wants to. Now, the concept of polygamy has always intrigued me because it is so foreign and so different from what I was taught about love and marriage in the Western culture. You know, that notion where two individuals come together as two pieces of a whole to complete each other in perfect romance and harmony. That is just so different from what happens here. So I've come out here all the way to this Tanzanian village, a Maasai village, to learn a little bit more about what it's like to have co-wives. So this is Yaya. And, and I met Yaya through Stephanie, her daughter-in-law. And Yaya has agreed to explain to me about Maasai marriage, how it works, and what it's like to have a husband who has other wives.
Arana no penina na ingwa bana atwar Maasai de ka kimanya palu tu enako. Arana no ngara isiet. Neta ngai ni ina bishana neta ngai le. Nige yakudu orungana kumo dangan.
Yaya and her family live in the Maasai steppe in Tanzania, far from the country's popular tourist attractions like Kilimanjaro or Zanzibar. They all live together in a boma. In Maasai culture, that's an extended household or a family unit with several houses built around a central cattle pen. This is their...
Stop. Big banks are lying to you. They don't want you to know that you can now get a PPP loan in as little as 60 seconds.
Home.
Ore ninge in Maasai menge nge kirichake minyor. Yara ke ninge kiponu kilotwa ke papalino nige dumwe horbaya. Hatadu itadua hati to nige njake ilodwa ke amani lato dinalo nilo sinyamu gwa bailo waya. Ila kanyo mila madwete nilo tiangi nyini wanga nyini. Ayerita emutu. Ayera kitangara enda.
Ugali is not like a traditional part of the Maasai diet, is it?
It didn't used to be, but it is now. So now it has become their staple. But in the past, and you hear that also in the books when they explain to you about Maasai culture, and I think many people think that that's still true, they tell you they just eat milk and blood and maybe meat sometimes, but they don't do that anymore.
Oh, una cura.
Neti ngage tondo ngani o mikiti agni atara dua kiriki. Ni gerage ninjir nilo. Amu ke itore du orungana na karanali. Eto njotata edimu atata. Ore tenga tata. Atara de nyofo nditor mohani na ya. Kage mi kwa paneja. Agora pati aba kake du kinjoyo papalino basi. Agora tata ete nyofo nditor mohani nelo. Loro da kuna pa ku lora tibo. Ma yelo ba na. Only give you yes tiag dia to lumu.
Maasai, they don't count the cattle because it's considered bad luck to count how many cattle you have, so they don't do it.
What about that one? What's her name?
This one's called Pemba.
Pemba. Like Pemba Island.
Like Pemba Island, yes. I gave her the name.
Oh. What about this one?
This one?
Yes.
It's called Namelok.
Ada mura do bari kunya ba mara do furaha ma yele na loito mara do furaha ma yele na loito kage o do bi lotu ilodo ina bwanka na tisinke lurure basi ni latum furaha nenga jayana nenga ngayana nikiti orba yalai o ngara ini.
Stephanie, how many people live in this boma?
I never counted, but I think it's about 40 maybe.
Oh, wow.
Yes. It's a big family. You're never alone. This is why Yaya likes this way of life. Because there's always people to talk with.
Miss Mossy,
This seaside Verbo is about to play host to an unforgettable vacation memory.
Thank you.
Buddy? This is the Maasai way of showing, or the way of showing respect to elder Maasai.
Nyana engaji niai, na nyana engai niai. Ilikuwa aga kanyo kaya Maasai kitwa. Itu sidai. Amu amu dur panya ngidwa kumo amu. Ninge dini nyara matare ormasai. Amu ninge ingidwa kumo pe kwara matare nyamu ngire ya mu neho de ngara kumo ondo ye netu bi mari.
Oh, ingidwa itu mo atu. Orpayan kumo?
Metu. Ai buona no. Are ingitong na iwe darwa na lutu atom meturi kunyang kai niai. Ni to kiniari kwangai. Ni kibu na to ni dua kwa kinte nebo. Ngedu anyor no hi. Anyor tuko. Mara ore du yari. Anyor ara du enche pa yanyor na niai. Osinye beru kulina ni kibu na to ni. Osinye no longi gilia kwa ari kwangai nikinyora ke tuko. Enya hayo kamu. Kito ni yote nebo. Ore na riyo ni kito ni yote nebo. Neke ngatendari nebo. Neki nyora nkarang.
For us, it doesn't exist like this because we were raised to not think about it.
¿Qué bueno?
Aji na nuba suben, na mena ja. Nenya na fulani ngajai, nenya na ngai ni to gai ne, nenya na ngai ni. Kudu dina to yona, na to yedi donda. Ni yudi wana na osha familia ai, kudu donda hete na budu. Eta ya pero ya
Me ya bayuna. Amara nanu. Ne mara sige kudai ni taini. Mera ne kinga sayo kata ni na jidu. Agora mahomo kwa ya nenda jau mi ya bayo tu. Mera ore nge yo kitu bulu tu akidu meta ina toki. Mera nge dini nge samna ina joki ni nye. Kanyo ndai pe ya tata neja. Mera yusi na riyo kai pata joki. Kanyo ndai pitu neja. Ore rangi yo pikito ni kira kumoto ngangitie. Ni natoki mikeata na yo bikira kumo kitiangang nabu na range sana ina bara jogi pakanyonda iba yebin timi yo no ga di yo ba yelete kai.
Okay.
This oceanside Verbo is about to become the backdrop for an unforgettable vacation.
Stephanie, tell us a little bit about your story. How did you get here?
I got here. First time I came here was in 2011 because I had met Sokoine on Mafia Island where I was working as a research volunteer, and he was working there also as security guard for a dive center. And I already spoke Swahili at that point, and I was trying to speak Swahili to him a little bit, but he didn't seem so interested. He was like quite shy. But then someone, after maybe 3 weeks on the island, told me that he likes me, and I was like, what? Crazy, because I didn't think that he would like me at all. But so we got talking, and then we ended up being together. And then my contract had ended, and I wanted to stay in Tanzania, and I wanted to stay with him. So I said, hey, let's go to your traditional Maasai home, because for me, I thought this was the only way for me to keep hold of him. Mm-hmm. I knew if I left him, we wouldn't be together anymore. Mm-hmm.
And so you've been living here for how long?
9 years now.
9 years in this Maasai village.
Yeah, in this Maasai village.
Stephanie recently went viral on YouTube when she appeared in a video telling the story of her marriage to Sokoina, her Maasai husband. The video got over 10 million views to date.
inyorriye tenitono penyo orpayian. Oyo nemekinyorri yiok tenenanu openy. Mayinanu nenanu ake openy natono orpayian. Ayinanu orpayian lai otagulikitwa nekiponu atoni openy. Ata amadi tarangi ten matejo dua kama dama tarangi nekipuo aulo tide nikipuo atoni niking'adunye duo yiok lorore pookin nikipuo yiok atoni tiaulo Jossy hata metii orpayian oye nkiriyie tono metii orpayian ninya Jossy meta epaaha pae.
Hoda ye nijoki yiok kuko sindai nkaini.
Ayo saja kita iruko siya nkaini amu sidai. Ore ndai ngese ndai tubulunye lokwa kilenyi inyorro oltung'ani openy. Ninche irmaasai nenyorr ninche enkang sapuk natii iltung'anak kumok neteneyau lolo tung'anak neponu ake anyorru ometotoni pookin tenebo enyorra. Meta ebaiki beneja sendai tibu ngiantai miyieu. Sendai tarangi pimiyiololo nje siyie tubulunye natonata orpayian openy. Basi nimoku siyie. Asi nikitamoo payiok tarangi ena mikiyieu tarangi yiok orpayian lenkitoo nabo lenye ake openy nalo atoni orpayian lino.
Then yes. Why do you think it's so difficult for us, raised in the so-called West, to understand the Maasai way of love and marriage?
I think because I had to question myself that same thing, because it takes a lot of time for us and a lot of effort to get out of the ways or the system or the way of thinking that we have been raised to think, to believe, like our thoughts, our Western thoughts on love and marriage and even what is right, what is wrong. We have been raised with these thoughts from when we were little. Of course, that we think when we grow up that this is the only way to live. But then actually when you travel and you meet other people and you talk to them, especially when you talk to them in their own language, when you really get to understand how they think, then you realize that actually my way of thinking is not the only way of thinking. And right and left and good and bad, these are like very, they can be defined in many different ways. So it's difficult because we have to let go of everything that we have ever been taught is right. So you have to let go of that. And that's really difficult, I think.
Tena kito nata tenda teatwa do enanyorra weni enangisi kanyo ndayo nyorra ngamu tapa ninya nange nyorra sidai amu ore ndenda nyorra nengena indai nyorra nelungana kwa ronya oyo nikinyorra yo kera lungana kumok meta ajotu nana nyorra ngisidai oltungana kumok kayetu olregi lolpanyani tulingota yo alimurado enyelde orpayala ya kuyate orpayala nesidai orpayala yake okiko kake sidai amu kindipa di maisha pokira sidai orpayala etwana mugore yunesu meta etwana mugore su anda mugore yutoki nesu Eliaga jo epal amutwana mugore yunesu lorore longitwa kumo twana mugore yunesu niki menko duo na belekenya enki belekenya ngo mugore twana anapa ibelekenya bengo bamo ndota dajeta yolo ndoki tukumo pake meta geyo singer masa ningwa orkwak lenye meta eyuningwa orkwak lenye
And it's not just the marriage customs that are changing around here. The Maasai, who still live a traditional pastoral lifestyle, have been witnessing huge shifts in how they raise their cattle. Unexpected droughts as a result of the changing climate, or new and expanding farmlands encroaching upon traditional Maasai pastures. These are just some of the factors changing this traditional way of life as we speak. That was Yaya and her perspective on marriage. Now, look, I know it's not all rainbows and butterflies, and I know that I, as a Mzungu, an outsider, a white foreigner, will never hear about even half of the problems that people in Maasai marriages face. But I hope that what this video gave you is a slightly different perspective on how family structures can work. and that there is no single answer to what a good marriage should be. Every culture has its own version, and it's all about how we were raised and the ideas of romance and love and marriage that we've internalized along the way. Well, I hope you enjoyed this vlog.
Okay, yeah, as Lalai says, whatever you're raised with becomes your truth. Whatever you're raised with becomes your truth. And yeah, so for us, things are changing, as you have seen, as you have heard, things are changing. It's not the same as it was. Polygamous is slowly going down. Men nowadays prefer to have one wife, especially also with Christianity. Christianity does not, if you're a Christian, you're not allowed to marry more than one wife, one man, one wife. Yeah, so things are changing. Societies are not as polygamous as it was before. But then again, polygamy is not bad. For me, I think it's not bad. It's the way of life of the people. And if you're happy with it, if you're okay with it, then it should be fine. So that is bride price, Bridewealth, and marriage in some of the communities. This is a long discussion. If we are to look at everything, we'll spend hours and hours and hours. But thank you so much for coming. A question, if there is any?
I have a question about how the wives can ask their family if they need help, but in a way that is respectful of the fact that they are now really primarily associated with their husband's family. So how do they go about like doing it in the right way if they really do want to ask their parents for some advice or something?
Yeah, you can do that. You can go to your family and talk to them, but it should not be like something like a secret, or you should not hide it. So for example, you can go to your husband and tell him, I want to talk to my mom. Like your husband should know that you want to talk to your mom. Not just even talking, just going to visit, he has to know. Yeah. So you tell him, so mostly if you want to go to your parents, you have to let him know. It doesn't have to be the whole family, just your husband. So if he gives you the go ahead, then it should be fine. You just go and talk to your parents. But it should not be something that is done in secret. There should be no secrets between you and your husband.
And is it typical for the wife to then go and live with the husband and the parents-in-law, I guess? Father-in-law, mother-in-law, so everybody lives together in the same household?
Yes. People will live together in the household, but that depends also. Sometimes you live together in the household, sometimes you just live together. Like right now, mostly living together, maybe in the village. In the village, like in the village, you'll have that people live together, the parents-in-law and the kids living together. But in towns, it's different. It's different, a bit different. People live alone. You get married to your wife or to your husband, and then start a family together, just the two of you. And that's like also a changing concept of family, because families are becoming more. It's people are not like one big family. People are starting to become like smaller families. It's a changing concept of families.
Do you see like that being some of the effect of maybe Western media?
It is a result of Western media, one, education, and then also the economy. So the economy is changing and things are becoming expensive. A long time ago, people did not have to think about many things. Now you have to think of school, you have to think of children, of medical care, you have to think of school fees, you have to think of this. So it's hard to maintain your own family and then maintain other people at the side. So I think it's a whole, many factors contribute to this. But also westernization.
Yeah, life is getting so complicated.
Yes, it is.
Well, thank you so much. This was super interesting. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for coming. Miss Mwasi, do you want to say something? Miss Mwasi is my friend from Kenya. We want to see your face, your sweet face.
Oh my God.
Where are you?
Okay. Let me change my settings to video.
Okay.
Switch your camera from settings, privacy camera. Give me a minute.
Trevor is a student. He's from Uganda. Uganda is Ugandans and Kenyans are just neighbors. We share a border. We also share Lake Victoria. So most of the cultures or traditions on marriage and bride price are a bit the same. Yeah, Trevor?
Yes, that's right.
So Trevor will be paying bride price soon, right? Sometime later in the future.
Yes, I'm expected to.
I'm expected to. Yeah. So I think bride price is a good thing. I am for bride price. That if you want to marry me, you need to pay the bride price. I'm totally for bride price. If every other thing is changing, but I would not want the concept of bride price to change.
It seems similar to the idea of giving an engagement ring in Western culture.
Yes. I'm thinking it's the same thing. Like it's almost the same thing. But yeah, so
yeah, to sort of seem like your commitment is serious, and I don't know, like you're investing in the relationship, and I don't know, like an initial price, an initial gift to the person, and I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely not related to like purchasing a person. Yeah,
it is exactly that, showing commitment. It's about commitment. You're showing commitment to my family that you can take care of me, that you want me. That's why you're going through all this process just to get me. So it's a kind of commitment. You're showing commitment to the family.
And I'm from Mexico, and at least here, it's also about the man sort of showing some sort of maturity, like he's not a child anymore. So, and especially here, because men do tend to be providers and women tend to be maybe work sometime, but mostly at home with the kids. So it's a sign that he is ready kind of to take care of a family, something like that. Although that's also changing with modernity.
Yeah, that's also changing. Everything is changing. Everything is changing. Yeah, but we hope to keep some of the things, most of the things that matter to us as Africans, as Kenyans. There is our Miss Mwasi. Tambia Mama.
Hi.
So thank you so much for coming. It's actually right now it's what time in Kenya? It's 1 a.m. So thank you for being You're not sleeping, you're here with us. So thank you.
Sorry that I'm in my sleeping attire.
You kidding? You look pretty. People go, yeah, like I'm going to sleep. I don't look like you. I have.
Oh, wow, that is kind of you to say. Anyway, I don't really think I have anything to say per se, unless they have questions that maybe they would want a different perspective into, then I can share in.
Question for Mwasi?
Maybe something I would like to clarify. It's not all African cultures that are like the Maasai.
Yeah.
It's not all of them that do like how you've seen it in the video. We have very different, diverse cultures. Yeah, which are quite interesting, but not all of them lean into the polygamy side.
No, and but traditionally, most communities were polygamous.
Yeah, traditionally. Yeah. Actually, my grandpa had 4 wives.
My grandpa had 3.
Wow. Yeah. But that is something that is fast changing. Guys are more enlightened.
But you have a co-wife, Mwasi?
No. My heart is very small.
No,
I didn't like to have one. I don't think I have the stomach for it. I think the Maasai women are very strong and they're very loving and they're very respectful to the choices their husband makes. But I don't think I would fit in such a box. Sorry to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's yeah. So it should be okay for you to be okay with it, and it should also be okay for you not to be okay with it. It's a personal choice. Some people are for it, some people are not for it. But we can agree that we're both for bride praise.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it shouldn't be seen as purchasing a woman or buying. It should be seen like a token of appreciation to the parents of the bride or the groom in some cultures for just raising a nice person for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm totally for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It shouldn't come across as hefty or extortion, but just as an appreciative gesture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Marcy. Thank you, Trevor. Thank you, Carla. Thank you, Marcus, for coming. This has been a good one. Bye for now.
Thank you too for having us. Goodbye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Asante.
Asante, Marcus.
Kwaheri tuonane Alhamisi.
Tuonane Alhamisi. Asante. Mwasi, unasikia Marcus anajua Kiswahili.
I'm surprised actually. Please and please.
No, he's talked, he has talked very nicely, right? Like he's good.
Asante. Okay, kwaherini.
Kwaheri. Niambie mama. To